You're watching SBA Today. With all the latest news, stories, and advice, here are your hosts, Paul Long and Tanya Mazurek.
Good morning and welcome to SBA Today for the week of February 11th. I am Paul.
And I am Tanya, and today we're dipping our toes into the current situation with the government when it comes to SBA lending.
I never thought I'd be talking so much in politics as I have in the last couple of weeks.
And you know me well enough to know that it's like, oh my God, it takes me out. Anyway.
Yeah. Well, let's jump into the news here. So a group of Democrats from the Small Business Committee wrote a letter on February 3rd. Representative Maggie Goodlander sent a letter to the SBA acting administrator Everett Woodall, urging the agency to immediately clarify the extent of Elon Musk's DOGE access to SBA systems. The letter followed a report that they requested that the DOGE committee has requested and has been granted access to all SBA systems, including HR, contracts, and payment systems.
Members also, there's more, but what do you think about that part first?
I mean, he's going to have access to every government system. So, I mean, SBA was on the block. Now what he does with it, that's probably what keeps me up at night.
Well, it's still to come down. Who knows? Could go either direction. But
that's true.
The members wrote also in part, after last week's attempt to freeze federal grants and loans, we are concerned that Musk's followers intend to block critical SBA services from reaching our nation's small employers or employees. Yeah, employers. Unauthorized access to SBA systems hurt not just small employers, but also SBA's vast network of lenders and resource partners, us, and will have a disastrous effect on the services provided to small businesses. Beyond the operational impact, this breach endangers the private information of small business owners, SBA resource partners, and employees. Now, with that, they got really into. Now, the first thing I want to bring up, man, they really concentrate on the fact that he's a billionaire. What's up with that?
So what?
I mean, exactly. I was like, why is it that everything I read is the billionaire? And I'm sitting there going, well, should he not have any money? Should he not know how to make it? I mean, I don't know. Anyway.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I think another part of this too is, okay, having access to that information. Mm-hmm. So what? Like, I mean, I'm sorry, that's my personal opinion, but I think what they're trying to find out is, again, where they can save money. And I don't think they're going to be saving money on us giving out loans that they insure. Like, I don't see that. Now, is there maybe too much staffing, maybe some expenses that can be cut, maybe something like that? Probably. But I think, I don't know. I guess you and I are a part of the media now, but I'm just like, I think they're making a little bit of a bigger deal than it really is, in my opinion.
I see. That's exactly how I feel as well. And it's they're sitting there talking about mismanagement, whatever. There's mismanagement everywhere, and there's been mismanagement. I mean, think of what they're already saying about COVID in general, and the idols and the PPPs, and how many people were fraudulent and how that went down. Was there mismanagement? I don't know. Try to get it out quick. There's going to be something go down. But anyway.
Well, and look at your own budget. Hey, Tanya, do you have anything of mismanagement in your finances?
Oh, my
God.
God.
You spend too much at Starbucks? Like, I mean, come on. We all do it.
It's better. It is better. Yeah. Okay. So I had to call. My daughter goes to CSU, and this is her second semester. And they have a different way of paying. And here I'm a flipping banker. I know how to manage my money. I go in to pay, but I had to go to this online site to where they would send the online check, but it wasn't through my bank. And I completely spaced moving the money from my savings into, because it was a large number, completely spaced it. And I know better. I have everything set up for everything. But it bounced.
Well,
and I'm like, I was mortified. Anyway, I had to call them, and I'm sitting there going, okay, I know better than this. So anyway, but
I'm going to send Elon the I'm going to send Elon, the billionaire, over to your house to go through your finances. Okay.
Oh my God, how embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so an update on Senator Loeffler's confirmation. It's been moved out of committee and proceeds to the Senate vote this week. Nagel reported earlier this week that that has been sent over, voted 12-7 to advance her nomination. I don't know if that was down party lines or not. I mean, it kind of looks like it. But 12-7 on there. So we probably expect to have her Senate confirmation this week, and then we can move on from this story and see what she does.
Because we've only talked about it in bits and pieces for how many weeks now? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a sec, right?
A little bit. But what is already interesting, and I think where we really need to spend some effort in research, and that is what the Small Business Committee is doing. Because remember, there's a Small Business Committee in the SBA, and they really do work with one another. There are some new things that are brewing on this. There is a bill called the COVID Collections Act. We've beat this dead horse as well, but prohibits suspension of collections on loans under $100,000. So pretty much extends the time that inspector generals can go after that, which the first thing I thought of is we still have inspector generals. Oh, okay.
Same here. I'm sitting there going, wait a minute. What?
I thought they were gone, but
did I miss something?
I don't know what they're going to do with that.
Yeah.
But that is there. And then the other one is, again, this one we talked about in our hearing, but this one came out of the Small Business Committee, which is the Small Business Child Care Investment Act. Yeah. It qualifies nonprofit childcare businesses to be eligible for 7A and 504 loans. So if you're a 501c3 nonprofit that provides birth to
compulsory childcare.
Compulsory childcare. I'm sorry. Hold on a second. I have to Google that word. I'm too stupid to know what that one is. But
okay, I assume that means kindergarten or preschool, right? Like,
okay, sounds good.
Yeah. Well,
I have to ask AI.
Exactly.
But they provide care for school-age children outside of school hours, etc. So pretty much most of this is a lot of churches have a child care part of their services that they would be able to do that on there. It can't be used for religious activity. Duh.
Right. I didn't know that churches can because of the religious activity piece. Because if it's a religious nonprofit though, and they are in any way, shape, or form having any piece of the religious in it, I don't think they qualify, do they?
Well, we'll find out. But the way that I took it as is, if churches want to do that, they can, and they can be eligible. The only thing I've noticed is I've looked at financing before for those types of, and usually it's not a separate entity of the church. It's all under the church. So it'll be interesting to say, okay, here's your money, but no, you can't use that on Jesus. Like, what do you?
How do you split it out? I mean,
I don't know.
I'm like, wait a minute. So then they're no longer a religious nonprofit. So I don't know how that's going to work.
Who knows?
Right?
But when they mentioned that during the nomination hearing, I'm like, okay, well, they're trying hard for that one, so we'll see what happens from that. But that could definitely affect us here. Another bill that provides that only loans over 500,000 will require to have a personal guarantee, while loans 500 under will not require personal guarantees. Okay, now if everyone's like, what, Paul, do you want to say that again? I will. The bill further provides that only loans over 500,000 would have a personal guarantee. Now,
but wait a minute. I think that's talking about the nonprofits. I think that's only talking about the nonprofits.
Oh, okay.
I think it's only talking about which actually to a degree makes sense.
Okay, so that actually makes a lot more sense too then with that. So, well, okay, that's
I know.
Cool.
I read it
all
the
right,
same
guys,
way.
to get you all excited.
Is that for us? No. But I don't know. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I know many people that would love that rule in general, but that would increase defaults through the roof.
I was just fixing to say, I would not like that rule, and call me crazy, but I'm sorry. If you're getting lending and you're getting it backed by the SBA and by the people, because that's who's paying,
Yep.
for the SBA and putting the tax money in, you got to have something on the line.
Yep.
Sorry. So I'm not a believer in that one. But anyway, I think it is strictly only for the nonprofits because it's part of that
Okay,
bill.
gotcha.
Yeah.
So we are going to put a personal guarantee on God. Okay, cool. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay. They're also returning. Okay. So the returning SBA to Main Street bill or act requires the administrator of the Small Business Administration to relocate 30% of employees assigned to SBA headquarters to duty stations outside the Washington metropolitan area. Now, that incorporates two things, both moving or downsizing the 30% and moving them outside, but also downsizing the office space there in Washington by not less than 30% as well within 2 years. So that's an interesting one. Yeah.
I mean, I guess I see the overall thing on that, but
Yeah.
if you live in the Washington metropolitan area, then you probably want to work there, maybe. But I don't know. I just whatever. I just sit back and eat my popcorn and see what happens in life.
Keep watching what's happening. Keep watching what's happening. I'm like, oh boy, you're eating popcorn. I'm eating candy. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. So the Disaster Loan Accountability and Reform Act is the next one. It creates monthly disaster loan report requirements, funding request requirements, limitations on SBA regulations that may not be issued by SBA to increase cost of disaster loans, and other measures aimed to improve accountability in the disaster loan program. One of the funny things I read in that one, well, maybe it's not funny, but the administrator cannot fly or travel somewhere without putting in documentation of where they're traveling and why and stuff like that. It's like, so they have been? I mean,
that's a real, wow.
I'm like, okay, that's very interesting. I know some of the nuances of these things. It's like, I really had to read it like multi times. And then of course I was like, I don't understand it, but whatever. I don't know.
These
what
are
do you think
bills.
about some of them?
I mean, I saw a lot of this coming. I think we're really going to start seeing once Kelly's in, that we're going to start seeing movement in certain things, especially the Small Business Committee. I was talking to a broker yesterday, and he was like, well, God, there's so many things that are going on. And what do you see that's changing in SBA? And I'm like,
Everything.
Everything. Yeah. Like, it's just, he's like, well, what do you mean? We're talking about asset and stock sales and partial buyouts and all that type stuff. And, partial buyouts, I think those are here to stay. But I think some of the loosey-goosey rules that the Small Business Committee had heartburn over, I think will eventually come back with here in the next few years. So those lenders who
and some of them need to be. Some of them need to be backtracked a bit.
They do. And I always tell people, if I followed the SOP to the law, I'd be out of business in 10 minutes. It's not.
Oh, did he say that out loud?
Sure did.
It's interpretation. It is interpretation. There's too many times that I have had an interpretation of it and somebody else has had a different one. One would have gone, no, it's not eligible. And me, I'm like, but I think it is. And we had to go all the way up the line to find out if it was or it wasn't. I won.
Yep. Oh. It's called 7A questions at SBA.gov.
Oh, or even further than that. Oh no, I took it all the way up to the top. Oh yeah.
Dang.
We had to get some top of the line review and some something that came back that was incorrect. Anyway, all good. But I don't know, guys. All right. That's it for this week. So please join us next week, actually, on Tuesday mornings, 9 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, on LinkedIn and or YouTube. And or for your convenience, you can go find us on any of the streaming platforms where you get your podcast. While you are there, go look at some of our previous episodes or any of our family of podcasts, the Art of SBA Lending and or the BDO Show. Follow us, share with your network. Smash that like button down below if you like what you're doing to let us know that you like what you're doing. Remember, Paul and I really care about you. We care about the industry. So if you've got anything for us as far as a topic and or questions, reach out to either us on LinkedIn. And hey, other than that, rise up with your big bad selves and go sell.
All right.
See you
See you
next
guys
week.
later.
All right. See ya.